And what about the three men in that story who died that night? Did you know them?
No, I looked at the pictures last night, and I can't place them anywhere. So I don't. If I know them, I can't remember them.
All right. Well, so now let's talk about this redemption thing you got going on here, man. It's quite impressive to me that you would go over to England to meet two of these former inmates and apologize in person to them the way you did. When was this exactly?
Well, actually, I took the trip about a week before Christmas is when I actually got to London and got to speak to them is when it happened.
Uh-huh. And now, who were these two guys, and how was it that you came to, go and do this thing with the BBC News and everything?
Well, the two guys, one of them was Ruhal Ahmed and Shafiq Razul. They're two guys part of the Tipton Three, which is probably one of the most famously known detainees. They're all from Tipton, England, and they all grew up together. And they went to Pakistan for a wedding, and went to Afghanistan, as they say, to smoke dope and hang out for the wedding, got captured and sold to the Americans and spent 2.5 years inside Guantanamo. But during my time at Camp X-Ray and my time at Guantanamo, I spoke a lot to Ruhal. He was a guy that was a year older or younger than me, and we talked about James Bond films. We talked about Eminem. It was just weird, here was a guy that did everything I did outside the world, and here he was sitting in Guantanamo. And then Shafiq I spoke to a little bit, not a whole lot, because he didn't like for the guards to know that he spoke English. But Ruhal had told me at Camp X-Ray that was his buddy and whatnot. But what happened was, after I spoke to the UC Davis Project, I just happened to log on to Facebook. I was pretty new to it. I just messed around, and for some reason one day I was sitting at the computer and decided to type their names in to see if anything popped up, and for my surprise, Shafiq had an actual Facebook profile. So I kind of sat there for a while and decided just send him a message just to say, hey, this is who I am. I was there, from Camp X-Ray from January when it started that year to June of that year. I agreed with it at first, but over the time I saw I didn't agree with what was going on. And just pretty much told him, hey, I'm sorry for what he'd been through. The other guys he was with had been through, and that, just let him know that not everybody did agree with everything that was going on. And to my surprise, a couple weeks, maybe a month later, he actually replied to me, and we just set off a chain link of emails. We just emailed back and forth, and then I was contacted by the BBC sometime after that, about March of last year, and they wanted to know if I would be interested in flying out to London sometime and then actually meeting them face to face, which I got a chance to do.
And the YouTube of that is at my blog, thestressblog.com, and at the blog at antiwar.com/blog. And the article at the BBC website is Guantanamo Guard reunited with ex-inmates. And so tell me about how'd this go. It started off a little bit uncomfortable, but you guys ended up being friends by the end. Look at this picture of the three of y'all smiling and joking together.
Yeah, well, actually, the thing about it, the project took a lot longer to do than I think people realize. It took almost a year to really complete the whole thing, because me personally went back and forth about doing it or not doing it, because nobody knew what the reaction was going to be. None of it was scripted, none of it was anything. It was just what you see is what really happened. So when I finally decided to go, and both sides, as you can see in the documentary, were very nervous. I don't think, literally, when I got off the plane that morning, within 4 hours, I was sitting in that room. I don't think I talked much at all the whole time, but it was good. At first, it was, wow, here we are, because we all knew each other, and it was kind of like Ruhal said, hey, you look different without a cap on. And I'm just like, well, you look different with that orange jumpsuit. So it kind of broke the ice right there. But it was good. I think me telling them, as like Shafiq told me, he's like, you didn't come here and try to apologize for the government. You just came here and apologized for what you did and what you took part in. And then, they told me they really appreciated it. And there was a moment in the whole thing where I told them about the situation at Alpha Block, because they weren't there yet. That was like, I didn't know what the reaction was going to be, which was very tense. Like, you could feel, it was a feeling, but it was good. I could say that we really left there as real friends. Like, I still talk to them almost on a daily basis now. But it was a good experience. I think things helped me a lot to really, maybe deal with some of the stuff and actually hear them tell me it was time for me to move on and get over it, that I'm not the one to blame, And I think it really helped them, from what they told me, really just to hear it from me, for it to be real, hear it to come from somebody like me. And it was great just to meet their families and everything. Just, 8 years ago, here we were detaining a guard, and 8 years now. We're all three of us got jobs, got family, got kids, and we're just, we're really no different. It's just we started on a journey 8 years ago, and here we are. We're just the same people.
All right, so tell me about your activism with the Iraq Veterans Against War. Well, actually, no, first tell me about how you ended up in Iraq. You left Guantanamo Bay in when, 2004?
Yeah, I left Guantanamo in 2002. I was there from January 2002 till June of 2002.
Oh, okay. And then from there you went to Iraq.
Yeah, I went to Iraq March of 2003 and left out Iraq in March of 2004.
And what did you do there?
I was an MC there. I just did various missions from VIP escorts to patrolling to convoy escorts and just the little missions, just driving around, patrolling the streets of whatever city we were in at the time.
So luckily you didn't have to do too much that you regret while you were there, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go to a place like that, you do stuff that, because at first, going to Iraq, I agree with the whole situation. Like, we're going to do this great stuff. And after a while, seeing some of the stuff I did and taking part, just seeing it and realizing what we were telling the American people wasn't real, I really just became disheartened, and it was really turning against the war. I just didn't agree with it.
All right, so now tell us, please, about Iraq Veterans Against the War and your role there.
Iraq Veterans Against the War is, as many people know, just an organization of mostly Iraq and Afghanistan veterans who are just speaking out against the war, who, have points of unity that unite the whole organization as far as, like my big one is the whole VA benefits, getting full health care for all veterans returning, reparations for Iraqi people, and, immediate withdrawal of the country. Because, like Obama says, we're going to leave Iraq, but he still is not proven to show that he's going to do that anytime soon. So hopefully people keep the pressure up, we'll actually leave that country. So.
All right. Well, listen, I think it's great that you're going around speaking out and, trying to make right what once went wrong and all that. So thanks very much.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
All right, everybody. That's Brandon Neely, former MP in the U.S. Army and Guantanamo Guard. You check out the article at BBC News. It's Guantanamo Guard reunited with ex-inmates, and you can also find the YouTube of it at Anti-War's blog and at my own blog, thestressblog.com as well.